Hi learner, welcome back to Git presentation series. I am Satyadev. In the last presentations, I talked about the need for a version control system, types of version control systems, and also we talked about the storage strategies. Now we also discussed that Git is a version control system. Git is also a version control system, which is a content-based version control system. Now in this presentation, we are going to start on what is Git, its history, and then offerings and its salient features. So this is what I'm going to discuss in this presentation. Let's go to the next slide. Now, history of Git. Git was actually started back in April 2005. Initial version of Git by Linus Torvalds for Linux kernel development project. Now, basically, Git is started as a sidekick project by Linus, who is the main person behind the Linux operating system. Now, initially he was using Bitbucket, but that was only licensed version. Now he realized that you know if Linux needs to be publicly contributed, it should be a contributed software, then these proprietary versions of version control systems is not required. So he created something called Git as a side project. Git actually means like it's very foolish or very simple, or doesn't have any much value, something like that, right? So Git means an English word. Git means like it's a foolish thing or doesn't have any value kind of thing. Now he just gave that name to have fun, as well as he wants to make it as a free thing for everybody. Now the reason he wants to have Git is that, as I told you, Linux is a software that is developed by multiple number of people who are working remotely, like multiple people contributed to that. So in order for multiple people to collaborate, at that time, all the version control systems that allow centralized repository, they are like licensed ones, they have to pay. But because it is done by multiple people as a free contribution, he cannot ask them to buy some software for version controlling. That's the reason he created Git. So it was created back in April 2005. 2005 to 2008, I think Git rapidly gained traction due to its efficiency. Git is super fast, and the main core, the important features of Git are like it is distributed as well as locally also you can have. It's not just centralized. You can have locally also. And the main cool thing is like whatever in this that is there in the central repository, you can also the exact history also you can. It's not just the content of the file. The history of changes. Today I have done this. Tomorrow, I'm going to. Yesterday I did this, and today I'm going. All that kind of history, right? So past things. So that's also it maintains locally as well as the central server. Anyway, it's there, but locally also you can get the exact same details. There's no difference between server version and your version. And in 2008, GitHub, an intuitive interface for Git, was launched. Now there is small confusion for many people about Git, GitHub, and GitLab. I'm just going to talk about it in the next bullet point. Git is used as almost every project, powering collaborative platforms like GitHub, GitLab, and Bitbucket. Now, what are GitHub and GitLab and Bitbucket? Yeah, that's another thing. Now, what are GitHub and GitLab? GitHub and GitLab basically are nothing but web interfaces of a Git centralized server. They are nothing but web interfaces for Git centralized server. Now, as I've been telling multiple times, Git is a distributed version control system where you can have that locally as well as centrally. Well, Git is developed for Linux, right? Linux is not really a UI kind of operating system. Yes, there is UI in Linux, but the motto for Linux and Linux developers is use commands in the command line rather than using GUI, user interface tools, GUI tools. So that means Git doesn't have any GUI, any user interface. So all you need to do is you have a command window. You type your commands for everything. store files, retrieve files or update files. For anything to everything, you have to type commands, do that. But you have to remember those commands. But that's what Linux philosophy is. It's done for developers, so developers should be able to remember all those things. But as Git gained popularity, many people wants to use it, and they don't want to remember all these Git commands. They want to make things easier. So, and also, for that purpose, what happened was there are so many Git clients came in to picture. Like there are user interface applications where instead of typing a command, you can do it in user interface. So, but as at its core, Git is not command based. It's just Git is command based, not a user interface based. Now that's about the local computer. What about the central repository, right? If you have central repository, earlier if you don't have any user interface, you need to go log into that machine. You type the same commands there also. Now, in order to simplify that process at a central place, GitHub and GitLab have provided the web interface for that. I think it is clear now that what is Git, what is GitHub and GitLab. GitHub and GitLab are two different things, two companies doing similar kind of thing. They are providing web interfaces. So there are two companies doing the same thing, and Bitbucket. That's the history of Git. Now let's talk about Git. Git is a widely used open source. Open source, like it's a free kind of thing, right? Free content-based distributed version control system, DVCS. I think we talked about file-based storage strategy and content-based storage strategy. So Git uses content-based storage strategy designed to manage and track changes to code during software development. It enables multiple developers to collaborate on the same project while maintaining the history of every change made. Git provides feedback such as features such as branching, merging, rollback, making it that makes a powerful tool for software development workflows. So whatever we have been discussing, it's kind of summarized here. It is a content-based distributed version control system. You can use, collaborate. You can use that in a very collaborative way. It is very powerful, and the chances of getting mistakes done, storing the content mistakenly is very less. And that's what about Git. Now, what does Git offers to? I think the same thing what we discussed in a more in an expanded way. Git allows every developer to have a complete copy of the repository locally, including history. That's what I've been telling. Developers can work offline, commit changes locally, and synchronize with others using a central server similar to GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, etc., or directly through the peer-to-peer sharing. Now, this is the advantage with distributed version control system. I can do my development locally. I can do my check-in. I can revert back. Everything I can do. It's like as if I'm only person working on it. Once I'm ready and I want to push something to the server, I can do just like, okay, whatever that I have, push it to the server. It's not just stores the latest content, it stores the history of whatever I have done on my local machine also. So it exactly maintains the replica of whatever that is there, right? So that's the beauty of Git. So I can work offline even if I don't have any internet connection. I can store my changes, save, because that's what a version control system, right? So version control system backs up your code. So it backs up your code. It stores the history. Whatever comment I made, it will store locally. But once I'm ready to push it to the central server, when I say push, it stores all the changes to the central server as well. This is a nice feature. Speed. Git is designed for fast operations like committing, branching, and merging. Git works really fast compared to the UI based tool. Well, there are UI tools which can do that, which could take slightly more time, but command based interfaces is really fast. It does things even if it is you are pushing to server, it is very clear and you can easily see it. Things get done very quickly. And the next feature is data integrity. Every file change is tracked using cryptographic hashes, ensuring data integrity. So I want to save these changes in 5 files. It collects all the changes as one patch, and then it hashes it, then stores that hash. So there is no, if it, once you want to get back, it will compare. Okay, is it based on the hash, okay, is the hash that is stored here is matching, then only it will revert back. Otherwise, it will say there is a mismatch. Don't do that. It's very restrictive. In sometimes you feel like it is very restrictive, but at the same time, it it safeguards your changes very clearly. That's what features of it. Now flexibility. Git distributed nature lets developer work offline and merge their changes with the main, that is central repository, whenever they are ready. Popularity, I think I already talked about. 90%, if not 100%, people are using nowadays. Git is the backbone of many modern development platforms, GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, etc., which enhances collaboration among developers. So these are the features of Git. So by now I have given you the introduction to Git. In going forward, we'll talk about how to use Git, all that practical things. Thank you very much.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe VNR Digital Learning Resource YouTube channel.